Hi everyone, and welcome to this yoga stretch for after walking or running, or just if your legs feel a little bit sore. This will be a great class. Let's get started in a seated position, and we pretend we just come from a walk. And the first thing that we want to do is to relax a little bit and arrive here on the mat. And a great thing to do that is to first find a good standing position. So make sure that your feet are hip width apart, have a very gentle bend in your knee, and then we just swing the arms from left to right. And just close your eyes if this feels good here, or gaze down. And just relax here a little bit while you swing your arms left and right. This should feel really good after a long run, after a walk, or after a long workout. Yes. Continue to twist left and right. Yeah. Also enjoy the cool air that you feel on your torso and your arms here. And notice how your back and your body starts to relax. Then come back to center. And we warm up our feet or stretch our feet a little bit. So to do that, bring your toes down on the mat, so the tops of your toes, and stretch your toes forward and then back. So really to warm up your feet here a little bit. There's no real rule. This should feel good on your toes and on the upper side of your feet. So just stretch out the right foot a little bit. Yes, you can do some circles here. This is normally a strange stretch. We don't stretch the foot or the toe. So into that direction. Yep. Then switch sides and we stretch the left toes. I normally feel like a little tension in my big toe. So spend a little bit more time there where you feel that you need it. Roll back and forth over your toes. And then come back to your standing position. Grab opposite elbows. Bring the elbows over your head. Make sure that you stand hip width apart. Remember to have this gentle bend in your knees. And then we do big circles with the torso. So bring your elbows down to the mat on the right side. Let your head hang heavy. Come over to the left side and bring the elbows back up. 2 more in this direction. Inhale when you come up. Exhale when you bring your torso down. Then switch direction, big circles to the left. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. And come up standing. Reach both of your arms up high. Make yourself long. And then swan dive forward and come to a nice forward bend. Grab opposite elbows again here. And swing from left to right. Enjoy the nice opening in your hamstrings. But remember, you can have a very gentle bend in your knees here. Relax your shoulders, relax your upper back. Let your head hang heavy. Come to stillness. And we stay here for a moment in the standing forward bend. And let go of your elbows. Heel toe your feet a little bit outwards so that your stand is a little bit wider and hip width apart. Bring the toes to the outside and then slowly sit down to a yogi squat. Bring your hands to a prayer in front of your heart. Your elbows come to the inside of your knees and press your knees to the sides. Your chest comes forward and your spine is long and straight. Yep. Then bring your hands back down and we extend to a forward bend. And come back to your yogi squat. Yep. Let's do this one more time. Bring the hands down. Extend the legs, forward bend. Exhale, come down to your yogi squat. And bring your hands back down one more time. Extend to forward bend. Bring your toes back together and come down on your mat to a tabletop position. Tuck your toes here, and the first thing that we do is to sit back on our heels to a pose called toe screaming pose. So make sure that all your toes are tucked. Bring a little bit of weight into your heels, that you feel this nice toe stretch and opening here. Very good pose after a long walk. Maybe gently swing left and right to really stretch all of your toes. Yes. Close your eyes here. Find stillness and relaxation in an uncomfortable pose. And then come back forward to your tabletop, untuck your toes and maybe tap the tops of your feet down on the mat. Very good. Bring both feet down. Extend your right leg to the back so that your toes stay down on the mat, and then we swing back and forth to really open up the hamstrings here a little bit and also stretch the wrists at the same time. So inhale to come forward, exhale to push the heel back. And bring the right knee down. We extend the left leg to the back and bring the heel forward and back to stretch and open up the hamstrings. Come back to your table pose. Both knees are on the ground. Tuck your toes one more time, but this time lift your hips up high and push back to a downward facing dog. And we continue our hamstring stretch here by walking the dog. So really take a little walk here. Bring one heel down and then the other. Yes. Continue to walk your dog. Your hamstrings should start to feel more open by now. Come to your downward facing dog. Find some stillness here for a moment. Inhale deeply, come up on your toes. Exhale and bring both heels down. Exhale. Then bring the right leg up to a three-legged dog. Bend at the right knee. Open up your hip and draw big circles with your knee. So rotate at your hips here. Yeah. No one looks good in this pose. Don't care about that here. Switch direction a few rotations to the front. Come back to your three-legged dog. Extend the right leg to the back. Bring it down to the mat. Same on the other side. This time extend your left leg to the back. Bend the knee and draw big circles with the knee. And switch direction. Really open up the hip here. Yes. Last one. Extend the leg to the back and lower it down to the mat. Look between your hands. Step your right foot forward to the inside of your right hand. Lower the left knee down. Release the left toes. And we are in this low lunge. Let your hips sink down. Come onto your fingertips and feel the opening up of the hip here. And then shift your hips back. Walk your hands back. Extend the right leg and come onto your heel. And sit back to a half split. So now you should feel a nice stretch in your right hamstrings. And walk your hands forward, back to low lunge. And back to half split. One more time. Forward to half lunge. Open the hips. Exhale back to half split. Open the hamstrings. Come back forward to your low lunge. Tuck your left toes and step back to downward facing dog. Same on the other side. This time step the left foot forward. Lower the right knee down. Release the right toes. Find your low lunge first. Maybe you have to walk your right knee back a little bit. Come onto your fingertips so that your chest stays open here. And let your hips sink down a little more. Yeah. Then move your hips back. Extend the front leg to half split and a hamstring stretch. Inhale forward to low lunge. Open the chest. Exhale back to half split. One more time. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, come back. Walk forward one more time. Ground both of your hands down on the mat. Step back to your downward facing dog. Let's take one deep breath here together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through your mouth. Our next pose is Pigeon Pose. So bring your right knee to the front. Lower it down on the mat behind your right wrist. And extend the left leg behind you. Maybe look behind your back for a moment to make sure that it's really extended right behind you. Open up your chest here first. Make your spine long. And then when you feel good here, you can either stay up here or you can come forward on your forearms or bring your head down on the mat to a sleeping pigeon pose. We stay here for a moment. Try to get comfortable here. Maybe slide a block or bolster under your right hip if you feel that you are not stable in this pose. Close your eyes here and start to relax. each exhale, let your hips sink down a little deeper and come more and more into the pose. And slowly bring your torso up, walk your hands back in, bring your weight over to the right side, so shift onto your right hip and then swing your left leg to the front so that it's extended in front of you. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Inhale, make yourself long, roll the shoulders back, long spine. Exhale and bend over your left leg. Sink belly to thigh here. You don't have to reach your toes or anything else on your leg. Just try to elongate your spine here for a moment. And then when you think you've found a lot of length here, you can let go, let your shoulders round forward and let your head hang down. And slowly walk back in. Cross your legs in front of you. Bring your hands down on the mat and come back to downward facing dog. We repeat the same on the left side. So first come to pigeon pose on the left. Bring the left knee forward. Lower your shin and your knee down on the mat. Extend the right leg behind you. Make sure that your left knee is really on the left edge of the mat here. And then open the chest. Let your hips sink down. Find stability here first. And only if it feels good, lower forward to your sleeping pigeon. You can stay here on your forearms, or you can make a little tower with your fists, or come full down to sleeping pigeon. Wherever you are, try to relax here. Maybe close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the ins and exhales. Slowly come up. Swing your right leg to the front. We set up for our forward bend. So bring the left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, make your spine long, and slowly walk your hands forward while your torso folds over your right leg. Pull your belly button in a little bit so it makes it easier to fold. And first we think about more length. So create length in your body, reach the chest forward and try to have a long and straight spine here. And as soon as you found this spot where you have this optimal length, then you can relax down into the pose. Round your spine, let the head hang heavy. But you should still feel this really nice stretch in your hamstrings. And slowly come back up. Extend both legs to the front for a moment. We do a nice stretch for the knees, which is always nice after a long walk and which is an area we often don't stretch that much. So bend your left knee and bring your foot to the outside of your left hip. So for a lot of people, this is already a really intense stretch. If this feels too much, bring a block or bolster under your sitting bones and sit up a little higher and just stay in this position. If this feels good, try to keep your knees together here and you can walk a little bit backwards. So lean back only a little bit. If this feels good, you maybe can come down to your forearms. If this also feels super easy, you can lay down on your back. I will stay here on my forearms and enjoy this nice stretch in the left knee. We just stay here for a few breaths. But it's a really nice stretch for the knee and also for the top of the foot. If something like this pose feels uncomfortable, it always helps me to smile a little bit. Just smile through it, breathe through it, send your breath into your knee. We are almost done. And come back up. Slowly and carefully extend your left leg to the front. Bend your right knee. Bring your right foot next to your right hip and find your position here. Again, this should not hurt. You should feel a nice stretch and opening in the knee, but if it hurts, either don't do this pose and skip it, or if it makes it better, elevate your hips a little bit here. So find your pose here. So either you stay up seated or you lean back as far as it feels good for you today. Keep your face relaxed. And come up to a seated position. Carefully and slowly extend your leg to the front, and we lay down on the back. We come to our final pose, which is a nice supine twist. So start to bring your left knee into your chest and then slowly guide it over to the right side. Extend your left leg out to the side. You can either stay here, have both of your hands grounded on the mat, or if you want to include another stretch in this pose, you can bend your right knee, that's the leg that is extended to the front, and grab it with your left hand and include a little quad stretch here. Yes. So you twist and you stretch at the same time. You can look up to the ceiling or over to the left side. Then let go of your foot. Come back to center. Extend both legs for a moment. And bring your right knee into your chest. Guide it over to the left side. And either extend your right arm out to the right side. You can bend your extended left leg. Grab the top of your foot and include this little quad stretch here. Your arms and your legs out to the side. Take one more deep breath into your nose. And exhale with a sigh. Shavasana. Then slowly start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Stretch your arms over your head for a full body stretch. Roll over to one side for a moment and come up. The mat. Cross your legs in front of you. Bring your hands to a prayer in front of your heart. Thanks for practicing with me today. Namaste.